This video from a couple of days ago came up in my recommended, and I watched it this morning by Mike the Snare, called the biggest music streaming service you've never heard of. The reason why I've never heard of it is because it's only available on iOS, and I've been using Android since 2011 or some shit, okay? Or 10, maybe. I can't remember. When did the HTC Tattoo come out? It's about this music streaming app called Musi, which was available on iOS, which isn't there anymore. What made this app so good is that it had a free tier and a paid tier for streaming music, and the free tier basically it was the same app but just with like banner ads and like maybe like a video ad that plays like every so often. Typical mobile game banner ad kind of things, and then you can pay just to get rid of those banner ads. You had unlimited playback, unlimited skips. None of like the major drawbacks you get from like free Spotify or whatever. But here's what this music app really is. All it's doing is it's grabbing videos from YouTube and presenting them to you in a more Spotify style. As a result, it gets rid of all the ads that would play on those videos and doesn't send any money to the artists, like, because there's no money being generated from this app. But the people who made the app are making money from selling from putting ads inside of the app or getting people to pay to remove them. But it was like a one-time purchase to remove the ads of like $6 or something. But basically all it's doing is pulling YouTube videos that you can see is Taylor Swift Vivo. It's just pulling the video from YouTube and into this app, and then playing the video from YouTube in this app, but you can lock the screen, regular music app controls. I think this is kind of scummy. The main reason why I find it scummy is that they were making money off of it. The app developers were making money from it and not sending any money to artists. The reason why I find this very strange is because there are about 20 of these apps that exist on Android, but they're all free and open source, meaning that there is no ads, and the people who make the apps for the Android don't make any money, and they're just providing something. There's no ads inside of it, and there's no paid upgrades. I don't really want to mention the specific ones for this, but like if you Google it, you can find like there's like literally like 20 different versions of this that are completely free on Android. And basically this guy talks about it in here. There's about 3 different major demographics that would use an app like this. People who just can't afford a music streaming service for whatever reason, mainly, high school teenagers, and just like listen to as much music as they want for free because they can't afford it. There was like a second group of people who don't agree with record labels and not wanting to give money to record labels or streaming or like Spotify, because Spotify doesn't split the money well or whatever. And then there's a third group of people who do it because of the library size, because it's full of all the videos that are available on YouTube. Literally any video that's on YouTube, you can just listen to the audio from on this app, which is very useful because there might be versions of songs that aren't on Spotify or things like that, but are available on YouTube. Specifically for those third types of people, that shit already exists. It's called YouTube Music. But if we go to, I can just quickly access YouTube Music from here, right? So this is YouTube Music. I use YouTube Music because I just pay for Spotify Premium and I pay for YouTube Premium, and this is like bundled in with it. We got the Spotify singles Bring Me the Horizon Wonderwall. So this was a Spotify song cover they did. Bring Me did for Spotify, but it's here on YouTube Music. Bring Me actually re-uploaded it themselves on their own channel like a couple of weeks after the fact, but this was the original re-upload someone did. The big benefit to YouTube Music and plus Musical.ly was again the library of versions of songs that don't exist on other platforms. One that I really like, I don't want to get this flagged, but this is like a version of Sorry You're Not a Winner that they performed at Reading Festival in the UK in 2020, and it's like this really cool cover. Like this remix kind of 2022 version with a more pendulum beat. Well, Sorry You're Not a Winner. It's so cool. But they never released a song. They performed this once at Reading 3 years ago, and they never released it. But I can listen to it here on YouTube Music, because and this is from Enter Jakari's official YouTube channel. So and another one, especially for like VTuber viewers, is this is specifically true for Hololive. I'm sure this extends out. Hololive, when they do a cover, they never put it out on streaming services. They will put out like original stuff on streaming services, but Hololive will never put out covers on streaming services. So his Team Tomodachi cover, which English Advent did. But if we go to Spotify real quick, Hololive English Advent, they only have originals and the instrumentals or the remixes for them. But they do not have Team Tomodachi up on Spotify. But it sits up here on YouTube. And you can listen to this on YouTube Music, which is like the big benefit of this. But it is... and obviously the other benefit is that it's free. But people also don't want to pay for YouTube Music. I wholly believe if you are a YouTube enjoyer and it's like your main source of entertainment, I think YouTube Premium is totally worth the money. And then you get this. There's also the biggest caveat to YouTube Music is every streaming service is basically the lowest quality. But eventually this got taken down because it's, you know, the people who made the app were making money without distributing any of it to artists, and this taking money from YouTube as well. And that's why it got taken down off the Apple App Store. A bajillion of these kind of apps exist on Android, but none of them are on the Google Play Store. You have to download them and sideload them. But the biggest difference to the Android ones is that they don't make any money. And if you do use one of these, and this is how you listen to your music, I don't give a fuck. You have your own reasons for doing it, and it's whatever. The thing I don't like about it is that they were making money from it. They were making money from basically just repurposing YouTube and sending it back to people. And I agree that, you know, Spotify, and I'm sure YouTube doesn't give great deals over to the artists either. I know Spotify definitely does them, and I'm pretty sure YouTube is a part. I assume most streaming services don't pay artists that well altogether. Some might be worse than others, but I assume the rates aren't great across the board. The things that really sucks is things like this, which just don't exist anywhere outside of YouTube. And you can't even obviously there's a demand for music, that library of music, to be out there more because people like it. And people obviously also want a free way to listen to music that isn't as prohibitive as Spotify free. Because Spotify free, I don't know if you guys know this, you can't choose what's going to be playing next. It's like true ultimate shuffle mode. You're going to get an ad every 10 songs or something. And you have a limited amount of times you can press the skip button a day. So if it shuffles to a random song and you don't like it, and it does that 3 times, you just can't skip anymore. It's so shit. So people want a cheaper or even a one-time payment way to get access to the music. It's like an indicative trend of what people want. People are using it because it's serving their need. It's kind of and I think he briefly mentioned this in the video as well. It's kind of like emulating for video games and Pokemon. We'll go with Pokemon, especially because we got a Pokemon Presents in a couple of days. We're going to go with the Generation 3 Pokemon games specifically, but kind of across the board for the most part. But Nintendo hasn't sold Generation 3 Pokemon games since I think 2006 or something. Fire Red, Leaf Green, Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald. Those 5 games are some of the most popular Pokemon games that are out there, and the Pokemon Company hasn't sold them since 2006 or 7 or whatever, whenever they stopped making the actual cards. And now if you want to buy a secondhand Pokemon game just for the cart, for the most part, DS era backwards, you're spending like 100 quid or so. This is how much it costs to buy Pokemon Emerald. When you do this, you're also playing gamble, whether it's real or fake. If you go to the Pokemon section on Twitch, and if they aren't playing a Switch game, one of the newer Switch titles, 99.9% of them are not playing on the Game Boy or a DS. They're playing on their PC. And that's true for me, and I'm going to be doing it in fucking 20 minutes from now. Because it's just a demand that people want the shit, but they aren't being given it. And it's a supply demand issue where people want something and the demand just isn't the people who are able to supply it properly in a legal way just don't want to help people do it, so people will go find a way to do it themselves. And if that is listening to music for free in a non-obstructive way. Like, for example, right, if Spotify just had a bunch of banner ads all over it on the free tier, and then you just pay to get rid of the and maybe like it's lower quality. So like if Spotify free, right, instead of like all these stupid restrictions with like with like limited skips, truly random, and all this stuff, right? If it was just like maybe it's lower quality bitrate music, so it's not as high quality, and if there was like banner ads, and then maybe some, I don't know, I think you already can't download on the free one, right? But like it was more stuff like that, it would help circumvent it by a shit ton. But then again, there's the problem of stuff that isn't making it over to other platforms and just stays on YouTube. What are you gonna do? If you want cheap listening to music, you can use YouTube Premium. You can use YouTube Music for free. I'm not entirely sure on the limitations of the free version. I know it's not as bad as Spotify free, 100%. Pretty sure you're able to skip as many times as you want, and it's not truly random. There is definitely ads on it. But then if you do use YouTube Premium, it's basically just Spotify, but with every YouTube video ever. Hopefully there's a point to this video. I don't know. I'm gonna put this up on the Clips channel. I think it just kind of, like, listening to music has never been easier. It's fucking artists over a lot, and it's kind of like not on the consumer by any means to solve that problem, right? It's on the businesses to solve that problem. If you use one of these like free music streaming services which just pipe the music from YouTube, I don't blame you at all. It's a service issue. If you're one of those people who like the library of Musi or any of these other free ones on Android, just get YouTube Music. It's really good. Plus YouTube Music still does have it's got like the mixes, Super Mix, Replay Mix, Discover Mix. It doesn't have like the AI DJ on it, which I personally think is an upside that I don't have to use it. It's like a podcast section, but it's like fucking not in your face everywhere. This app was pitched on Shark Tank. This was on Shark Tank or it might have been Canadian Dragon's Den or whatever. But all this is taking videos from YouTube and piping it forwards. The biggest problem I have with it is that they're making money on it. Because of 50,000 of these exist for free, 100% free. If you can, I highly suggest if you can afford to pay, you should. But if you do it for free, that you maybe you can buy a t-shirt or an album once in a while or something, or even go to a show, and at least support that kind of way.